Australia. Oh, he's hit this one, Miles. Great shot. Oh, it's a biggie. Straight over the top.
Kohli drives through the covers. It's into the fence like a tracer bullet.
Okay, the big day is here for the day that we all have been waiting for. India versus Pakistan, and we play each other so less that each of these days are absolutely iconic. Who can say that it's actually just a league match? And both India and Pakistan are guaranteed to move to almost guaranteed to move to the final four. But that Sunday evening, with just about few hours from the start of the first ball, I have Gopal and Devankur joining with me. What's the feeling out there in the camp, guys? How are you feeling about the day, the match?
It's really exciting, Shanton, especially after the last encounter that we had faced, India versus Pakistan, where Pakistan had beaten India for about 10 wickets in the T20 World Cup. So looking forward to this match, and looking forward for an India win, especially after now Virat is coming back after a gap of some months. Rohit, lot of things have changed after that match. Rohit has taken over the captaincy. Dravid has taken over the coach. There's a team composition that has got changed. Looking forward for this exciting match. And this is just going to be the pre-match towards the major one that is going to be in early October or November, the T20 World Cup. So yeah, looking forward. Extremely excited about it.
So let me straight away, ask Devankur, because I think right now everyone's thinking of what will be the team composition like, being such a strong 15-man squad. So Devankur, what's going to be your squad? You've seen the match yesterday. The strengths and weaknesses pretty much about both the teams. So how do you think you're going to line up if you are the captain of India?
Yeah, so small presentation that I've prepared. I want to just, give it a couple of seconds so that everybody could actually see what my predicted team 11 is and what is the likely team 11. I have a wish, that this team comes out on the field and plays the fearless cricket that they've been playing. But before we start off, the expectation for the match is a little less today because I've been seeing that tosses are actually deciding what the matches are. So just to delve a little in historically over the UAE last couple of years, 3 years, IPL matches, the T20 World Cup, whosoever has won the toss fielded has won it. So if it is decided, if it is being decided by the toss, then I hope Rohit wins the toss, elects to bowl, and then we win the match easily, because that has been the trend, so to say. I would want toss not to be the deciding factor, but then again, this is how the matches are. This is how it is stacked up. So to answer your query, Shanton, I'll just quickly, start off. And this is my wish squad. Top 6 right here. Deepak Hooda, I want him in the side badly. I have been impressed by this guy. He needs his opportunities. He's a new guy and he's fearless. The Indian team that the Pakistani side is going to face this time around would be absolutely different from the Indian team that they faced in T20 World Cup. So the onus is more on the Pakistani team to actually prove themselves. They were the underdogs the last time. It was expected India to be a superior team to win it, and we played under tremendous pressure. I don't think so. The scales have tilted. Although people know that Pakistan defeated us, so the stakes are higher on the Pakistani side, and they are a little nervous on that front. Our team is brilliant. If not another Afghanistan-Sri Lanka match, we might see India winning this. So this is my wish. But who will play? Likely Indian 11 is this, wherein there will be a coin toss between Deepak Hooda and Dinesh Karthik. Rishabh Pant will play. If Rishabh Pant plays, I would want him to open the innings, period. I don't want a Rahul right now who looks to be scratchy, then again coming in, eating up balls and then making it difficult for Rohit Sharma to score up front. Pant gives Rohit Sharma the freedom also, and Pant himself is a free player. So this is my likely Indian 11. I would not go by names so people can see it, actually pause the screen and see it. Yeah. I think Pakistan is almost like a settled team. I would suggest, the top 3 to change. I would want Fakhar Zaman to actually open. Gives them the right-hand, left-hand combination, but this is how they've been playing even in one day. I think Fakhar Zaman opened in the ODIs in the Netherlands. But then again, I'm really interested to see Khushdil Shah. He's been touted as one of those, go hit the ball kind of a player who has not yet performed on the international scale much. Iftikhar Ahmed, I don't have much, high hopes of him, because almost, Budha Ghoda kind of a player. Mohammad Nawaz, very interestingly, he's replaced Imad Wasim. Imad Wasim is out of contention, and we haven't spoken about Imad Wasim in our pre-matches also. So this is one thing. Mohammad Nawaz is being touted more as a Imad Wasim, putting more pressure on Mohammad Nawaz to actually go out there and perform. And Shadab Khan, I think, would be their hero. He's the one who will be doing it with the bat and ball. Babar, for me, has to increase his strike rate. He's a great player. He's a brilliant player, touch player altogether. But he has to increase his strike rate for me to like him more as a T20 international batsman. So this is my kind of both the sports. And I just hope, like I started, toss isn't the deciding factor for today's match.
Yeah, I think few interesting things to notice in your squad. The first thing is, okay, you've taken that bold step of not playing KL Rahul, and you've gone with Deepak Huda. That gives another bowling option, maybe another
Exactly.
just a couple of overs. But wow, you have stacked three spinners, and then you have a Huda who bowls as well. After what happened in the match yesterday, where the seamers were preferred, and somewhere Sri Lanka didn't had a firepower over there. That left arm fast bowler picked up those early wickets. You're still hoping for that many spinners to play in the Indian squad today.
Avesh, to me, is not that's the only player that I have not selected. That for the seamers, we have Bhuvi, Arshdeep, and Avesh as an option, and Hardik to be there as a fourth seamer. We don't have, the likes of Harshal Patels. We don't have the likes of Shardul Thakur, who has been selected, who can be actually put in as a seamer there. Not even Venkatesh Iyer for that matter. Avesh Khan doesn't cut through in the top 11 for me. I mean, I do not see him as a top 11 player, even for an India C side as of now, internationally. So Arshdeep has to play. He gives you the left arm option. He also comes around the wicket, takes the ball out with his off spinning balls. But Bhuvi, for me, if we speak a little bit about our Indian bowling side, I think we're a little weaker because of the absence of Bumrah and to some level Harshal Patel. But then again, we have this squad. Avesh Khan doesn't cut into it, and that gives us the option of playing two spinners plus Jadeja as a bowling all-rounder. So two spinners, if you ask me, two spinners who could be, it has to be Bishnoi has to be the first spinner because again he's a new guy, newbie, plays fearlessly, doesn't have the emotional baggage or the past baggage of playing against Pakistan. So he would be fresh. He would know that whatever he performs would be for his own good. And then again, I would rather prefer Ashwin over Chahal. But then again, India Pakistan team is stacked with right-handers who can hit the ball. So Chahal wins the cut for me there.
So yeah, I think maybe Gopal, reaching out to you. You've seen the team that Devankur has selected. I think the only surprise or the only change that I would have made is probably I would still go a little conservative and play Rahul instead of Huda. I think the rest of the choice is fine. I would have gone with Bishnoi as well, and in fact play both Bishnoi and Chahal. Right, these are big rounds, and Chahal is someone who can pick up wickets in the middle overs. I think the key is always going to be the first 6 overs for both the teams, and then next, who plays the overs between 7 to 15, who can put on those runs during that phase, because that's the phase where the teams typically go a little slow. So Gopal, what would be your playing 11 if you are asked to choose?
More or less the squad that Devankur had mentioned as the likely 11. Which is, I'll still go with Rahul instead of Huda, probably because of the experience and the T20 World Cup in line. And Rahul has not had that much of a match practice coming into this tournament. So this is probably going to give him some match practice. Huda, of course, has played some T20s in West Indies and against Zimbabwe. So probably in this match, I'll still go with Rahul because he needs some match practice prior to the T20 World Cup. If we are looking into the fact that Rahul will be the in the playing 11 for that big tournament. And with respect to the spinners, Shandan, it's an interesting bit. I'm actually tempted to play Ashwin in the 11. Just because of the variation that he brings into the entire lineup as such, but and hence there is going to be a toss between Bishnoi and Ashwin. It's a very, very tough choice for me. But personally, probably I'll still go with Ashwin just for that off-spinners variation. Otherwise, pretty much what Devankur has, pretty much the squad that I would say with Avesh Khan not being in the best other forms, he doesn't fit into this particular 11. Maybe after this match against Hong Kong, I might still try him out because of the importance. I mean, we know that Hong Kong is not a
Quality of the opponent, yeah.
worthy of the opponent. But otherwise, the only point that is coming into all these pictures is Sayantan, is where do I bring in DK? Is the bigger question.
I'll ask you a little bigger question about that as well. So, interestingly, Devankur opens with Pant, right? You are playing KL in his squad. So who's going to open? Because India has experimented both with Surya Kumar Yadav and Pant, and actually they look to be a better option than a Rahul, who is not coming with a lot of runs behind him right now, or a lot of match practice even. So, in your playing 11, who do you think is going to open with Rohit?
See, if Rahul is in the squad, if you are not asking Rahul to open the batting, then it's far more easier choice that don't play Rahul. If Rahul plays, then he has to be in the top 3, and that is pretty clear because of the fact that he carries the bat for the entire 20 overs. And we spoken up in the earlier sessions that we had that for the first 10 overs he holds the innings, and the next 10 overs he goes bamboozled, hits 2 long sixes, and most of it, if you look at it, Sayantan and Devankur, in Rahul, when he plays at 18-17 overs an innings, he ends up scoring a big 100 actually.
Yeah.
So I might take, if Rahul is in the 11, make him open, because that will give him some time also to get into the pitch and play for some more time, which he has not had in the Zimbabwe series that much. So I'll have to really go with Rahul as an opener. So Rahul, Rohit to open, Rohili, Sky, and then you bring in Pant, and then Hardik.
So for me,
Hardik's batting at number 6.
For me, Pant has to open. I mean, Pant is not a good player in spin. These tracks are going to spin more. I mean, we bowl it outside the off stump, float it up. Pant is going to get a top edge and get out. He might hit you for a couple of sixes. In that sense, Sky is the best suited middle order batsman. He can play spin well. He sweeps the ball. He sweeps even pacers. I mean, if you put nobody behind square on the leg side, he will be sweeping you for sixes, even the pace bowlers. He knows how to pick up lengths. He knows how to pick up pace. So Sky cannot open for me in this team. I mean, he was put as a makeshift opener. For me, if Pant plays, Pant has to open. If KL, I have a coin toss between KL Rahul or Pant, because KL Rahul plays, opens with Rohit Sharma, Pant plays, opens with Rohit Sharma. If both of them play, I don't see a reason why Pant has to come down in the middle order. KL Rahul might be a good player against spin, I don't know, but he has been all the while playing as an opener. So for me, it's a coin toss between KL Rahul and Pant. I mean, it is very, I know it's a difficult. It will not happen. I'm pretty sure it will not happen. Both of them will play. But if they play, I think Pant has to open for me. He's not a good player against slow deliveries or spinners in the middle over, so to say.
Yeah. So and let me move on to the next question. So you started off saying in a few episodes earlier that Shaheen Shah Afridi is a bacha in front of Rohit, considering still what he did last year. Don't you realistically think that the top 3, let's say that all 3 of Rohit, Rahul and Virat are number 1, 2 and 3, don't you think they're going to be a little more less worried and a little more relaxed that Shaheen is not playing, and they don't need to face those left arm in-swing balls up front?
Absolutely. I mean, it was all in jest that I said Shaheen is still a bacha, because experience-wise he's definitely a bacha. But even a bacha, Bumrah was like, a terrific bowler for the greats like Virat Kohli was an established player, Chris Gayle, AB de Villiers. He was a brilliant bowler against those guys. So Shaheen, along with his line and length, which is immaculate, he also thinks with his head. I mean, he's a good bowler in that sense. So he will be definitely missed. And that makes their bowling side very, very inexperienced. They have Haris Rauf, I understand. He's been brilliant in BBL. And to Gopal's point that it is a precursor to the ODI T20 World Cup in Australia, I think the teams will definitely change. I mean, we are looking at 3 spinners per side right now. In Australia, you're not going to play with 3 spinners, right? And you would be stacking up with more batsmen and more, all-round of fast bowling all-rounders there. So I don't see this as a precursor to the World Cup, so to say. But yeah, if you are concentrating only on Asia Cup and the pitches that we have in hand, Pakistan, Shadab Khan is the only good leg spinning option that they have. Mohammad Nawaz is just again, I mean, lefty variation of pace. India will play him well. Surya Kumar is going to play him well. Hardik is going to hit him for sixes. But then again, on the bowling front, Haris Rauf, he bowled brilliantly in the end in that World Cup also with his Yorkers and everything. He got hit for 1-6 by 106 straight down the ground. But then again, they don't have the other experience. Hasnan could go for runs, could be a game changer because of his pace. And I don't know, Shahnawaz Dahani, he again bowls good in swinging Yorkers in the end. But he might be very inexperienced. Could the big game could get onto him? He might feel a little bit pressurized against the outer Indian batting side. So looks a little inexperienced. Up front, Shaheen Shah Afridi would be definitely missed.
So tell me one more thing, and then maybe this is a question to Gopal. Gopal, you've seen Devankur actually did a step ahead and actually shown us, what's his choice of the Pakistan 11 as well. I was looking through some of the stats, and irrespective of the fact that we all feel, okay, Fakhar Zaman is a better striker of the ball and he, scores quickly. He actually still has a strike rate of 131 in international T20s, whereas the likes of Babar and Rizwan are in the 128, 129. Whereas, the lowest in the top five for India is 137 for Virat Kohli, 140 odd for Rohit, 144 or 45 for Rahul, and then the likes of Pant and Sky is the 170.
It's 160.
Right? So there is a huge difference. The middle order is a problem for Pakistan, apart from the fact that they don't have Shaheen. The middle order, if they bat first and if they lose a quick couple of wickets, right, then they have a challenge in hand where you do not have a settled experience in the middle order, and I still feel they will miss Shoaib Malik in this tournament.
Indeed, Shoaib Malik, in from that aspect, was a extremely experienced campaigner. He used to bat deep. He used to take the innings deep and rotate the strike and probably play to the strike rate. But as you rightly said, in the middle order, Shantan, you have I think
you have Khushdil Shah, you have Iftikhar,
Ahmed.
But then
you have Asif Ali, and all. They're all hitters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're all hitters, and if India plays Bishnoi and Chahal, the loop that Chahal is going to flight the ball. Bishnoi is not going to flight the ball. It's going to rip you with the leg spinners. So there's going to be that variation that India would be looking for in from those angles, and on the other side you have Ravindra Jadeja with his left armers, and these guys has to probably, as you rightly said, if Pakistan by chance loses early wickets in the form of either Rizwan or even Fakhar Zaman and Babar Azam, their lower middle order is going to get exposed, and that is be very interesting on to see how they are going to manage it. Because if you look at the trend that has followed for Pakistan, it has always been Babar Azam or Fakhar Zaman, or for that matter Rizwan, who has actually been the mainstay of the batting. Yeah. So the middle order is going to be very crucial. If the temperament there is going to be tested very, very hard for the Pakistani batsmen to ensure that, okay, if they are say 30 for 3 in say 7 overs, how are they going to ensure that they're going to play the remaining 13 overs?
Fair point.
Shadab to me, I think would be the actual difference here, because this guy knows to hold the bat. He can play the anchor role for some time and then go out and hit the ball. So Shadab will have a major role to play. And I mean, you have Khushdil Shahs, Asif Ali's, and Iftikhar Ahmed's, but Shadab to me is the player to look out for in the middle order, and that's the reason why I think they will miss Imad Wasim. Imad Wasim,
exactly. Imad Wasim, if you look at the last T20 match, he actually, I think, opened the bowling, and he did not give anything in the first 6 overs. Bowling that left armer, skitting it out. There's no room to hit you. You can't hit him because he was bowling that a bit of a 80.
He basically, and then Imad Wasim basically, he doesn't try to even spin the ball. His ball comes to the inside the right hander with the arm. So he basically swings it inside to the right
So you
hander.
can't.
So
I mean,
and
it
he
is very
typically
difficult
opens
for
the
you,
bowling always.
and it is very difficult for you to hit across the line such a bowler, and hence
Yeah.
and Imad Wasim is a very good lower order batsman as well.
Very
So
good, yes.
I was surprised that Imad Wasim has been dropped from the Pakistani squad, and they're going to miss him.
At
So
big time.
yeah. So tell me, and maybe moving on the Pakistan side as well. Clearly, on the bowling side, their strength still is fast bowling, right? So I know Devankur, I don't recall your squad still, but I know you spoke about Hasnain, you spoke about Rauf, you hope that Dhani is going to play. You did not mention about Naseem Shah, who's right now probably the pick of their bowlers. So do you think they're going to
Yes.
play four fast bowlers?
No. I had my choices were Shahnaz Davani, Harris Rauf, and Hasnan or Naseem Shah. So we were three pacers, and then they have Mohammad Nawaz, Iftikhar Ahmed bowls his off spinners, Shadab Khan, of course, with his leg spin. So that was my selection. They would not go ahead with four seamers. So it has to
I
be a coin toss between either Hasnan or Naseem Shah from.
I feel Nasim, selects himself automatically because, right after, Afridi, he is the pick of the bowler because Rauf is pretty much, he doesn't open the ball. He's pretty much the death bowler, right? So he'll probably bowl a couple during the 7 to 15 and then he'll again come at the end to, try with his Yorkers and slow ones. I've been actually watching a lot of PSL highlights in the last few days to see some of these talents because we don't play against these teams. So we don't have a lot of, other than stats, we don't actually have seen these players play. I know we are actually rating Shadab Khan pretty highly as a batsman, but I was looking into the quality of bowling in PSL and the pitches. There are flat pitches, small grounds, and everything that guy was hitting was actually going for six. Be it over the cover, hooking the ball, or cutting it for sixes and all. So I think seriously, if they get a couple of wickets early, India, they can really put pressure on this team. And the other hand, if India lose a couple of wickets, you still have enough firepower. You enough, the likes of Pandya and whoever comes, even Pant and
Right.
all can actually play the long innings as well. They can play till the end of the 20 overs as well. So it's going to be very interesting. Okay, let's come. Not speaking from heart, but from your mind, what percentage or what is the ratio that each one of you will give in this match? Is it a 60-40? Is it a 70-30 in terms of India, or how do you see this match to be finalized?
I'll probably go with the 65-35 Shantan towards India. Just as we said, just because of the experience that they have been handling it out. These players have been playing T20 internationals since last so many days, so they have the experience. Pakistan is now coming after. I mean, the last T20 international they played was in December, so they have not had much of a T20 international games. If you look at it, so they will be playing one of the very new T20 international after quite some time. So on all those aspects, it is between 65 to India and 35 to Pakistan. As long as toss doesn't prove the match crucial.
For me, it is 100% toss.
It is.
No 65. It's 100% toss. Whosoever wins, bowls first, wins it.
But just imagine. I mean, wow! If you have rated the Indian team so high, why would you not say that? Fuck the toss. We even if we bat last, we still win. Right?
I would have loved to do that, but I went through the stats, right? I went through the last 40 matches in UAE, international 40 matches in UAE. Team, winning the toss, choosing to field first, and then batting second, even if they faltered. Take, for example, the New Zealand-England semi-final World Cup. Take, for example, the Australia-Pakistan semi-final in World Cup. They were like on the verge of losing, and then it was like 40 runs chased in the last 2 overs in both the matches. Why? Because it was so easy to hit, and they only had 4 wickets, 5 wickets in hand, and they were hitting bowlers of the caliber of Shaheen Shah Afridi.
But then you
batting
consider, there was that drop catch of Sir Hassan.
That's
right, Ali.
That's okay. I mean, Pat Cummins would have hit a 6 then coming down.
Shantan, just to add to your point, the second half. I mean, even if you see yesterday's match, the second half, there's nothing for the bowlers. Absolutely nothing for the bowlers. There's
there was no dew yesterday.
There is no dew, guys. It's really hot out there. I was just looking through the weather. It's really hot. There is no dew. it was a poor total. So the team who was, Sri Lanka already dropped their shoulders after they scored the first 20 runs, right? And on the other hand, Afghanistan was almost sure to win. They just hit, and they just won an easy match after the bowling performance they did, right? The last 10 minutes that we have, maybe we'll just finish with one question, and we cannot end the session today without discussing Virat Kohli. I was just listening to his interview. I felt he was really matured. He actually matured over the years, but seems like he has matured even more. He was really calm. And I don't know if you've seen the interview, but one of the things that he mentioned was this is the first time in his last 10 years of cricketing career that he has not touched a cricket bat for a month, right? So he's like, and then the interesting thing was he was saying that at the end of the last few matches that he was playing, he was dragging himself. He didn't wanted to go out in the nets and practice. Didn't wanted to go out in the gym and hit the weight machines and all his workouts and all. So he was basically dragging himself. That's why while a lot of us thought that he should have played the Zimbabwe series, he actually took a break, went to the beach, spent time with his family, did not touch cricket bat, and did not touch anything that relates to cricket. But he now says that he feels really fresh. He feels like that hunger is back. Of course, it needs to get converted to scores. How do you think Virat is going to approach this match? Is he going to play his normal game, or is he going to go bang bang like the rest of the Indian team's new mantra?
I think he's going to be normal. Yeah. He's going to be normal. He's going to be absolutely normal. I also saw bits and pieces of the interview yesterday. He was looking fresh. He's looking a lot matured, and he knew that for the last few games or for the last few months, he's mentally been fatigued. So he was not in the right frame of mind to play those matches, and rightly so. I mean, he took a break. And I really feel he's going to come back very strong, and he's going to play his normal innings. He's not going to hit you. But I am looking forward for. I mean, I was just seeing the highlights of the last match that India played in the World Cup, and despite Shaheen Shah getting that 2 early wickets, Virat comes down the track and hits him over the long on for a huge six in the third over or the fourth over. I am looking forward that for a Virat innings today. Let's keep our hopes alive.
For me, Virat has played it very smart and is a very intelligent, human being more than a cricketer. I mean, he's turned into a matured, intelligent human being right now. He is actually paving his way for retirement, so to his fans say. I mean, he thinks with this interview, he'll be, regarded as one of the greatest. He's already a greatest. You don't need to say that again. But if he doesn't perform, it gives him enough time to say, actually, okay, guys, I thought that I'm back, but I cannot play. And we have enough, bench strength to actually replace him in the number 3 or number 4, or even the opening position. So I think he's played it very smart, very intelligent. He is not, going out and giving space for the others to think about how his form is right now. So everybody's saying, yeah, Virat form mein nahi tha, bechara mentally बहुत down hai, abhi aa raha hai, fresh होके खेलेगा, कुछ runs बनाएगा. Even if it doesn't, Virat has played it very smart. He'll say, boss, thank you so much for all the time spent on the ground. I retire. World Cup, somebody else come in and take my spot. So Virat is...
So you're saying he's going to retire from cricket altogether?
If he doesn't... No. Only T20 World Cup, he'll step down. He'll say, boss, I'm not able to perform. He'll not say this, of course. But this is what he meant with his interview, that I'm fresh now. I was not picking up the bat. I did not have that hunger in me and all of that stuff. So he's creating a base of actually, if he cannot perform right now, he would with this, statement would mean that, the onus or the responsibility on him is a little less. 2 months back, I mean, if we would not said these lines, we would have said, yeah, Virat has to score a century. 70th century, 2019 was the last he scored a century. Now nobody's going to say that about him, because everybody would say, oh, yeah, Virat has been so mentally down. Let's support him. Now, if with that mental thing off his back, he comes there and performs, he continues playing. If he doesn't, it gives him space to say that, thank you so much. You've been a brilliant audience. I'll play the 2023 World Cup. Thank you so much. That's I think how he's been.
I kind of think absolutely the opposite, because I think he's too big a player and he doesn't need to prove anyone, and he probably doesn't even need to create a base. He's like,
no, it's not a question.
He's like still,
actually.
Fuck. If I want to retire, I retire. Okay, I don't give a damn. I don't think he's going to preparing a base and all those things, he is still pretty strong mentally. He still thinks that, and then, one of the things that he said was that, last time in the 2014 phase when he was getting out cheaply, there was problem with him playing the ball outside the off stump, and he fixed that. There is no pattern in, all the dismissals that happened in the last few months that he was getting out cheaply. He was getting out to even average bowlers and all kind of bowling, all kind of dismissals, right? So I think he's still very strong. Even if he doesn't score, I don't think he's someone who's going to give up. We don't know a lot what's been discussed in the back end of the dressing room. But then again, the culture in the Indian team is not how the Australians and the English think. They are okay to take breaks, while we put a taboo on people taking breaks. And then he has actually, by stats, played 40% to 50% more matches. He's played all of IPL, all of test matches, all of one days, all of T20s and all, right? So I think there is a fatigue physically and mentally that gets onto you. You come back, you feel fresh, even if you don't score runs, but you are in that zone, you're in that mental, phase where you know that it's just round the corner, right? So
That doesn't help
really
Team
hoping, I
India,
think
so
all
to
of us
say.
are absolutely hoping that he comes back fresh.
We all
I think
hope
we
that,
just
but it
about
is not helping Team India, I guess. Yeah, so I guess
see,
we're
see.
almost
I think,
over time.
and we discussed about this. That is where we
Maybe
need to consider.
Shantan, let's discuss this after today's match. We have enough meat. We have created this hype
Yeah.
over Virat. If Virat Kohli performs, I'm going to catch my ears and say sorry to Virat today.
No,
For
no,
today.
no. I think,
we don't have much time. Let's go
Yeah.
for predictions and end it for now, and then
I
take
think
it
you've
post match.
already. I think both of you have already predicted that it's an Indian win, and which I predict as well. The only difference is, to an
Toss.
extent, both of you feel that if Pakistan wins the toss, they're probably the favorites. I would say that even if Pakistan wins the toss and they field, they're still going to be not the favorite. It's still going to be India who's going to be the favorite, because
Great.
it's a 20-over match, but it's still the team that plays most of those 40 overs and those crucial moments win. And as Devanku rightly said at the beginning, that the pressure is going to be on Pakistan, because last time no one expected them to win. They won, and they won emphatically. Everyone expects them to win in Pakistan this time. So it's going to be on Pakistan. And anyways, there are people in Pakistan who wants to, really criticize Babar Azam despite all his numbers. So he'll be under pressure as well. So with that, any more predictions you want to do, guys, before we end the match?
Let's do a prediction. I guess let's do a prediction.
You predict any rain washout, anything like
No,
that?
no,
for
no
today's
rain
match?
washout. I predict Rohit Sharma winning the toss, electing the field. We restrict Pakistan under 155, and then we chase it in 18 overs with 3 wickets down. And Kohli doing a good 28 balls, 42 is my prediction.
Wow, I hope your prediction matches, because you're very poor at predictions. The last time you made 4 predictions, it was 0 out of 4.
Okay, that's okay. Predictions have to be
Gopal.
made. Now we'll see what the records are.
Okay,
Gopal, your
Gopal,
prediction?
what is your prediction?
See, again, prediction is, if India wins the toss, yes, they restrict Pakistan to below 150, and then chase India comfortably chase that between say 15th or 16th over, with Rohit, Kohli, and Sky maybe doing bulk of the scoring.
Okay.
Shankar, your
Let me be the devil's advocate and say the opposite, where I say that India loses the toss, they bat first, right? They still scores somewhere around 170 to 180 runs. Runs scored by Hardik, Sky, Rohit, and Virat, a bit of all. Okay. We still finish, and then Pakistan gets all out within 160 runs. So it's a roughly.
We all say that India is winning.
We all say that India is winning. See, if India doesn't win this match, irrespective of the toss, there is something wrong with this team then. Okay. Thank you so much, Gopal. Thank you so much, Devankur. It was fun. Just a few more hours left. So if you want to take a nap, do take it. So you don't drool during or feel lazy during the match. I'm sure you won't. It was 3 of us once again in another episode of Just Another Cricket Podcast. We'll be back again today after the match. Be extremely happy or disappointed, but we'll definitely be back. Till then, if you like what we are showing in our content, please like our videos, please share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Just Another Cricket Podcast. See you in few hours with an Indian win. Take care. Bye bye.